Welcome to Country Watch Political Intelligence Briefing Quick Hits, a weekly briefing of hot stories across the world in brief. I'm Denise Youngblood-Coleman, and I'm the Editor-in-Chief and Senior International Affairs Analyst at Country Watch. This week in my political intelligence briefing, the United States is the featured country. After his battle with coronavirus, the White House physician Dr. Sean Conley has said that President Donald Trump is fit to return to public events, and the president is back on the campaign trail as we head into the final month of the 2020 election season. For his part, President Trump resumed in-person campaigning on October the 10th at a political rally at the White House, addressing hundreds of supporters from a balcony with a law and order message. The president then traveled to Florida on October 12th for a rally in that state, which is vital to his re-election prospects. In an interview with Maria Bartiromo on Fox News on October the 11th, President Trump pronounced himself as being in very good shape and said he was no longer taking any medication. Meanwhile, the Commission on Presidential Debates has canceled the second presidential debate set for October 15th. At this time, the debate set for October 22nd is still set to go forward. This is an extraordinarily busy and stressful time for our country and indeed our world. But among the other hot stories that I'm covering is the flare of violence occurring in the flashpoint territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. Located within the internationally recognized borders of Azerbaijan, Nagorno-Karabakh is an ethnic Armenian enclave that has been the venue of periodic fighting over the years, which ultimately left more than 30,000 people dead to date. Over the course of the last month, Azerbaijani and Armenian forces have been engaged in fierce battles over Nagorno-Karabakh. More than 200 people have been reported to have died since the inception of the violence. It is a burgeoning geopolitical crisis as it draws in Turkey and Russia. Following talks in Moscow, a ceasefire between Armenian and Azerbaijani officials went into effect on October the 10th. The temporary break in the violence was intended to recover the dead and exchange prisoners. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who brokered the negotiations, said the truce should also serve as the foundation for further negotiations aimed at resolving the conflict. But in the hours leading up to the truce, both sides accused each other of firing missiles and rockets on civilian areas. On October 13th, Russia's Interfax news service reported that according to ethnic Armenian officials in Nagorno-Karabakh, several people had been killed in fighting with Azerbaijan. Other stories I'm covering include the FBI thwarting the domestic terrorism plot to kidnap Michigan's Governor Gretchen Whitmer, the aftermath of a coup d'etat in Mali, where the appointment of a civilian prime minister is hoped to be a sign of a return to normalcy, and the confidence vote won by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government, thanks to parliamentary support from the opposition New Democratic Party. Then there's the upcoming election in New Zealand, where Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern looks like she's on track for decisive victory. I'm also, of course, covering the presidential election here in the United States. Looking at the average of national polling, the Real Clear Politics average shows the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, advancing a clear lead over President Donald Trump. Last week, the RCP average had Biden with a 9-point lead nationally over Trump. This week, Biden is sporting a 10-point lead. The 538 election blog is in line with this result, showing a 10.3-point lead for Biden ahead of Trump as well. In terms of battleground states, Biden continues to hold steady leads in most of the traditional swing states in the Rust Belt. To be clear, should these polling numbers translate into actual votes, then Biden will cross the 270 threshold to win the presidency. What makes re-election very difficult for Trump is the reality that Biden is competitive in several hitherto safe Republican states like Arizona, Ohio, Florida, and North Carolina. Of course, this was also the case, a similar scenario in 2016 for Hillary Clinton, so I always return to the reminder, a poll is just a snapshot in time, it is not an actual vote. For more information about these and other stories, if you're a subscriber, you can check out my special election report accessible from the Election Central section of the Country Watch website. If you're a subscriber, you can also read my weekly political intelligence briefing accessible from the front page of the Country Watch website at www.countrywatch.com. Even if you're not a subscriber, there's a lot of open source material there to check out, including the detailed coronavirus alert. So check it out. Thank you for your time. Have a great day, and remember that we live in an increasingly interconnected world.